And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OSC has returned. We have returned with something a little bit different, something a little bit special here. We just wrapped up with the OSC Season 12 Championship Qualifier, and again, congratulations to Jumi and some crazy games out of Jumi and a great series between himself and the Laser alongside Dolan as well. But now we are here with some viewer replay cards. Again, if you're in the chat, once you accumulate enough points, you can redeem a replay card. So you can join us on Discord. You can submit your replays there, and you will force me to bear witness to your replays. No. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see what Saundo has to offer. Saundo, he has been submitting a lot of replays over the past couple of years at this point, and so from time to time does share some 1v1 replays, but here he's sharing some team game replays instead. I mean, recently we have been embracing a lot more team game tournaments, like the Thermal 2v2 event, like some show matches as well, related to WTL, related to World Team League. Wardy's been hosting his own 2v2 event, so it's been great to see a little bit more team game action, and I'm ready. I may be excited. We'll see. I do miss playing team games. I'll be honest, I haven't played any team games in years at this point, and I know that the map pool was refreshed, so it's great to see some new maps once again in 2v2s and 3v3s. So we'll see what we stumble ourselves into here, as we're going to be jumping into a 2v2 featuring Saundo against some ladder opponents. Going to be on Arctic Flowers. Let's go. Let us go. Of course, Saundo, he's on Team Bud Air. So we have Team Bud Air up against our red team. And here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Arctic Flowers. We have Team Red. We have our red team, we have our Terran, we have our Protoss, we have a Saiyan Master and True Legends. Not Jimmy. Hold on. Let me try to fix some things up here when it comes to the UI. Bam. There we go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the blue team. We have Team Butt Air with our Terran player, Butt Sneezer, and our viewer, the Protoss, Saundo. The application that we use for intros with the fanfare doesn't like 2v2s or team games, so it's a little bit broken. It's showing a Laser and Jumi, but this is not a Laser and Jumi. I can confirm. Other people, other players, let's go. As we are settling in, and welcome one and all to one of the newer maps in the map pool. Again, this is a map that I have yet to experience myself. I say newer map, it was introduced a couple of months ago, or maybe even almost a year ago at this point, to the 2v2 ladder map pool. Is a little bit more open, a lot of bases. We have these center goal bases, we have speed zones as well, and we also have a cheeky proxy out of Saundo. Oh boy. Pylon has in place, and I'm curious what our proxy does entail. Based on its location, this will not be a bad location for a proxy Stargate, like Stargate into Oracle, into harassing into the main base. There's potential for damage, but we'll see what Saundo goes for, as we have yet to throw down a Cybercore. Gateway's just now finishing up, and the Cybercore is on the way from our red Protoss player. Looks like we have more economic racks expand here by our Terran. And no Cybercore for Saundo. Wait, what? Saundo. What's going on? So a delayed Cybercore here means that if we were planning for some hidden tech, then it is going to be delayed as well, so bear that in mind. We'll see if anything does come to pass with this proxy. Otherwise, we're settling in. When it comes to Saundo's teammates, I believe he typically embraces mech, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm assuming that's going to be happening here as well, as we do have a proxy factory. Okay. So both are blue players going for their own proxy setups. Meanwhile, both red players expanding, getting their naturals. Natural bases are getting up and running. Do you see a Saiyan Master going for his own follow-up factory? And there it is, proxy Stargate. Now again, this is a little bit inefficient. The Stargate is quite late compared to a typical proxy Stargate because the Cybercore was delayed as well. So a bit of a shaky build here, but I mean, proxy Stargate nonetheless into, I would imagine, Oracles, potentially into Void Rays. Meanwhile, Saiyan Master also going double Stargate. Oh boy. Double Stargate here from our red Protoss. I would assume that this is the setup for Phoenixes, I would assume. Meanwhile, we spoke about mech. Mech is on the way from the red Terran player. Double factory. Double factory into mech. Second racks into bio. Okay, so we have a bio setup here from the red Terran. Proxy tank. That has, as he does proxy the factory into a tech lab. Meanwhile, proxy Void Ray here from Saundo. Void Rays are on the way. Tanks are being proxied as well. So it should just be straight up all in. I say that, I mean, Saundo is expanding. And he doesn't really have too much more behind this. Meanwhile, both Sandmaster and True Legends are setting up their red team. They're setting up back at home. Scanned into the main, doesn't see anything, which is a bit of a tell in of itself. Sees no tech from the Protoss, which is very suspect. And the red Protoss is massing up Phoenixes. Phoenixes are amassing. Likewise, Void Ray is building up. And the Phoenixes, they will get eyes on at least the pylon. They see both. They see both pylons, but they don't quite see the proxy yet. Otherwise, we could try to dive on that Void Ray ahead of time. But for now, is scouting across the map. Este Hyper One. Ay, ay, ay. Send me the replay on Discord, Hyper One. Send me the replay. Shaking my head. I'm assuming an SC Evo replay, I'm assuming. But sure, sure. I'll get on it, I'll get on it. We'll get there, we'll get there. You can message me, you can message me. Oh, no. I don't know what to expect. I'm hoping like a Paradox map, but we do you have a replay on Paradox? I know it's sort of like 2 seasons ago, but I miss it. I do miss it. I think about it all the time. As Phoenixes, they're still backing up back at home. Here comes the proxy coming into play. 2 tanks. 2 tanks for the Blue Terran. Getting within range of the bunker. Likewise, Void Rays, they may have their shield battery support. And with help of the shield batteries, they can push through. Turret's being thrown down. Bunker does fall. Void Ray keeping the Phoenixes busy. More shield batteries on the way. Oh. Going for the turret. Turret goes down. And that's a kill, not a cancel. Meanwhile, the tanks are gaining ground. Ooh, they push in, they shut down the tank. And so far, the Blue Terran doing well here, getting to the expansion, getting to the mineral line. And honestly, the Phoenixes, if they turned around, they could clean this up. 100%. Phoenixes, they can lift up both tanks, they can shut down the Marines, shut down the Vikings as well. But the Phoenixes, they're otherwise busy. They're preoccupied. Again, not as much team unity or unison here between Sandmaster and True Legends. He needs the Phoenixes to help defend. Oh. Does rally 1 in at least. 1 is not going to be enough. Meanwhile, Phoenix is rallying into the Void Rays. Phoenix goes down. Yo, we got that Tempest as well. The Tempest Rush has arrived. Yeah, both Saundo and his teammate, they're breaking through. They take down the Natural. Pushing towards the Natural now, the Terran. Vikings are building up. We have Macula Accelerators on the way. Oh, Jesus. Our Prismatic Alignment is brutal. Oof. And the Phoenixes, they overextend. Phoenix is taking a lot of hits, a lot of damage. Natural is denied. Again, Cyclones are building up for the Red Terran. That is a lot of Phoenixes. And the shield batteries are out of energy. With that, they bring down 1 Void Ray. It takes so long to get 1. They get 2, they get all 3. 3 Void Rays go down. And can they take down the Tempest? They're working on it. They're gonna get 1. They're gonna get maybe 1 Tempest here, just barely. 1 Tempest goes down. Alas, there's another on the way. Saundo has 2,000 minerals, by the way. We could have afforded definitely more Site Defense and maybe a second Stargate and some extra gases and... Or at least just give the money to your teammate. I mean, it's fine, it's fine. Who needs 2,000 minerals? Who needs it? Nah, we're fine, Pappy, we're fine. As the Natural is denied. And we have 1 base versus 2 base. I mean, both Blood Caesar and Saundo, they are expanding. Taking the bases back at home. Saundo was almost fully cleaned up, but he's still maintaining himself. As the red team, they're trying to break out. Gabriel is on the way, still rallying across the map. Recalling back home. Interesting. Doesn't want to get caught out by the Phoenixes. And at this point, it's all just about delaying the expansion. Back at home, extra gas is going to be taken, another Stargate, into a Twilight Council, into Blink, into Charge. They can take any which way they want. And at this point, arguably, our blue Terran here can just 1v2. I'll be honest. It's going to be picked away. It's going to be picked apart. But potentially could have committed in. But now we're going to slow things down. We back off. We take our expansions and macro out of this. Okay. We are going to be macroing out of this. Saturating the expansions. Do I know why our blue Terran took this base? Nope, but you know what? It's fine. It's getting up and running. I guess Saundo getting his third. I guess just staying out of each other's way. It's fine, it's fine. And from here, the pressure's on our red team to bounce back in some way to get some kind of harassing damage, whether it's DTs, Phoenixes, and Mineral Lines, draw play across the map. Just turtling from here is not going to be good enough, even with mech. From here, we're going to be selling in. Oh, there's Saundo in the chat. From here, we can take a third base. And both Saundo and his teammate, they should be the first to max out from here as well. Third base now on the way for both players. Getting up to 3 base economies. And just chilling. Meanwhile, we do have our red Protoss going into mass Void Ray production. Okay. I mean, just making use of what we have. Making 2 Void Rays at a time. Proxies finally being dealt with. Gee, triple armory. He's getting 3 armories. He's getting 1-1-1. Triple armory on the way. Let's go. We're meching it up. No shot that they stabilize from here. I mean, there is a chance if the blue team is too passive, if they back off and if they settle and if they get like 4 and 5 bases and if they wait until they're max themselves, then there's a chance definitely that maybe the red team can recover. But it is a very small chance at this point. At least it should be. As they're also getting up to their 3 base economies. Uh-oh. Getting up to 3 bases. Because of the mech composition from the red Terran, I mean, he's going to have a more efficient army. That is true. Like, pushing into this siege line is not going to be easy. Assuming it's ready in time. Fleet beacons on the way. Protoss also soon to be getting into Sky Toss. Like, the armies that they're working towards, I mean, they can work quite well if they can get their economies going. And they're getting there. They are getting there. Meanwhile, players back at home, still just taking more bases, taking more expansions. Looks like we are skipping warp-ins. So taking a little bit longer to really build up the army. Yo, Thors are on the way. Now, the problem here with the current game state, given how small the armies are, is that the Red Terran Saiyan Master, he is spread quite thin. Like, he has a pretty formidable force, don't get me wrong, but he's spread here between the left-hand side, he's spread here between the right-hand side as well, so these individual locations are quite vulnerable. As if there's ever a fight, he's only going to be fighting with half his army. If that. So that is going to be important once the blue team moves out. Blue Terran is going to be the first to max. Been macroing quite well. Solid macro. Mixing in a couple of Thors. Okay, getting into triple factory. Like Bio Tank Thor. Bit of a hybrid army. Tempest are on the way. Yo, do we make a game out of this? It's possible. It is possible. There should soon be move-outs as blue team is about to max, or at least the blue Terran is about to max out, so there should be a move-out soon. where the armies do push. Typically, the reason why Mech and Skytoss is the go-to in team games, and that's kind of what the red team is working towards, is because they usually stay out of each other's way. So the Mech army is very ground-based, very much so ground-based, and the Skytoss army, of course, in the air as well, so they can kind of maneuver in unison and kind of take these fights together. With both Saundo and Bussies focusing on ground armies, things can get a little bit awkward and they can get in each other's way. So I'm not as in love with the army composition that we're working towards. We do see, yeah, more Stargates, more Tempest production here out of Red Protoss. And we'll see how the fights come together here. And we could just see two, like, separate individual fights instead. Instead of fighting as one. That'd probably be the ideal. Again, red team is still building up, getting more Tempest. I think the best chance here for the red team is if either of these blue players move out on their own. If either of them move out on their own and they fight 1v2, then they can lose their armies. Then red team can bounce back that way as well. As it looks like we are being quite passive here. Both armies are maxing out, 200 supply. And we should soon be pushing. Should soon be pushing here. Likewise, Saiyan Master, he's maxed out. we've gotten to the point where the red team's also maxing out. I would say with a better army, but the red Protoss is still lagging behind. And here comes the move out. And it looks like they're both going for the Protoss. Alas, the Meching Terran is out of position. He's over on the left-hand side. He's not where he needs to be. He's not here to support his teammates. I mean, he doesn't know he has to be, right? Like, they don't see the army all coming together. There we go. Now he does respond. And the base is going to go down. That is a lot of Tempest. Jesus, how many Tempest? 11. 11 Tempest. They can kite well. They can't kite back. Tanks get in position. The Bio Army dusts them in. And the Libs are late to siege. The tanks as well. And from here we can stim and we can win. The Liberators are all going to be falling. Getting on top of the Thors. And from here they just break through the main army. Tempest, sure, they're kiting back in the main. They're being quite efficient, that is true, but, I mean, everything else has fallen. The bases, the expansions, the Terran army. From here, we can just send it, Pappy. We can send it. Keep going. Don't stop. And again, the Tempest are doing well for themselves, but they're being kept busy here by these Archons. And oh no, do we... oh no. Are we going for the Great Migration? Are we going to lift everything? Not like this, Pappy. Not like this. As the natural races are falling. I mean, true, there is still a very large Tempest force, so technically there is a way to bounce back here. There is a way to hold. As you're just sniping Archon after Archon, Thor after Thor. The Tempest, they're popping up. And he's making 6 Tempests at a time. No shot. Yes, pure Tempest. Let's go. As the Tempest army moves in, these Tempests will kill everything. By the way, they will kill. They will clean this up. The bio, the tanks. From here, Vikings going to be required. Vikings, Thors, Skytoss as well out of the Protoss. How many Tempests do we have? 18. 18 Tempests. That's crazy. Oh my god. Let's go. But again, the economies are not really there, right? Like, we're pretty, we're all in. At this point, the Red Protoss is completely all in. This army has to end the game. And it takes a long time. Tempests are quite slow. They're not the most mobile of units here. Going for the planetary. Bio Army stims in. And they do catch one Tempest. One Tempest go down. Oh, second Tempest almost goes down as well. And they have to pull away. Oof. Second Tempest falls. Third Tempest as well. There's just not enough support. And the Marines, they can just stim in. They stim in. They take down the Tempest one after the other. Losses that the Red Protoss can't afford. You just can't afford these losses. Being cornered. Oof. Losing another Tempest. Finally gets into the dead space. But everything else is on fire. We once had 18 Tempest, now we're down to 10. Almost cut in half. Oh, the Archons! Tempest, they were left idle. The Archons, they should not have gotten onto the Tempest. Should not have happened. Oof. So another Tempest falls. And from here, you can just come into these run bys, deny bases, deny mineral lines. The blue team should be good. It should be fine. They should be fine. There's potential with the 18 Tempests. It would have been ideal if they positioned themselves here on the left-hand side instead. As we saw, you do need to make use of the terrain with Tempest. You have to make use of these cliff faces. You have to make use of the dead space as well. Alas, that did not occur, and there it is. No GG, no GG. As Saundo, as teammate, will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. They do take their first 2v2 game, and we have another team game ahead of us as well. Again, with that, I mean, it was impressive that that the red opponents were able to recover somewhat. I mean, the Tempest had a little potential. I do prefer their army composition overall, but I mean, they were just crippled economically. Like they had nothing. They had nothing to sustain themselves, nothing to keep going. The initial proxy did pop off. GG, GG, well played. And that leads us into a map that I'm unfamiliar with, Lost July. It's going to be a 3v3 instead. Okay. Up against Team Manco. Oh, no. Oh, no, it's a Latin American team. Okay. Let's go.